Thank you, Frank and Jason. We're very excited about bringing together the power of Ryzen, Radeon, and AMD software to build the best in ultra-thin commercial and gaming notebooks. Now, you all know that at AMD, we're always working on what's next. So let's close with a preview of what comes next for desktop PCs. Today, tens of millions of gamers, creators, and PC enthusiasts use AMD Ryzen processors in the Am5 platform. Am4 motherboards were first introduced in 2016. Almost 6 years later, we've now shipped nearly 70 million Am4 CPUs, spanning more than 125 unique processors, 5 different architectures, and 4 process technology nodes. Ecosystem support for Am4 has been amazing, with our partners introducing more than 500 unique Am4 motherboards, and Am4 is still going strong. Just last month, we launched the Ryzen 7 5800X3D, the world's first desktop CPU with 3D stacked chiplets. It plugs into existing Am4 motherboards and delivers an average 15% boost in gaming performance over the 5800X. This type of performance improvement has typically only been possible with the introduction of a new CPU architecture. And as the reviews have highlighted, if you want the best PC gaming processor today, it's the 5800X3D in the Am4 platform. And when you look at the numbers, compared to the best gaming processor from the competition, the 5800X3D wins across a broad range of games. It is the world's fastest gaming CPU, and importantly, it delivers that leadership performance while using significantly less power. Now, while Am4 is a great platform that will continue for many years to come, building the best PCs is always about pushing the envelope. And for AMD, we do this by combining our multi-generational CPU core roadmap with advanced manufacturing process nodes and leadership packaging technologies. Today, I'm really excited to share more about the next major step in our roadmap that extends our leadership in desktop PCs. Our next generation Ryzen 7000 desktop CPUs combine our new Zen 4 core in 5nm process technology with the all-new socket Am5 platform to bring more performance, more features, and more capability to desktop PCs. And it all starts with our Zen 4 core. We designed Zen 4 to deliver significant performance and performance per watt advances over our already industry-leading Zen 3 core. We doubled the L2 cache to 1 megabyte per core for higher throughput. We've also increased the clock speeds on Zen 4 to run significantly above 5 gigahertz. And with higher IPC and faster clock speeds, we expect Zen 4 CPUs to deliver more than 15% higher single-threaded performance compared to the prior generation. We've also added instructions for hardware-accelerated AI workloads like neural networks and machine learning. Now, for the first time, let me show you our Ryzen 7000. As you can see, Ryzen 7000 CPUs include up to 2 core chiplets, each with 8 Zen 4 cores, built on an optimized version of TSMC's high-performance 5nm process technology. The larger chiplet is an all-new 6nm I/O die designed for Ryzen 7000. We added RDNA 2 graphics, bringing integrated graphics capabilities into our Ryzen enthusiast desktop CPUs for the first time. And we've also made significant advances in power management and added support for the latest memory and I/O technologies like DDR5 and PCI Express 5. To tell you more about our new Am5 desktop platform, here's the General Manager of our desktop business, David McAfee.
Thanks, Lisa. Beyond the processor itself, one of the most exciting aspects of this new product family is the transition to the Am5 platform ecosystem. As Lisa mentioned, Am4 was an incredible platform with longevity and capability beyond what we even imagined it would be when it was first introduced. As we approached the design of Am5, our philosophy followed many of the same principles. We wanted to create a platform designed for flexibility and built for the future, one that maximized the capability and performance of our processors, and one that incorporated modern I/O and interfaces that will define the next generation of enthusiast desktop PCs. To that end, our new Am5 platform will lead the industry in capability for the most demanding enthusiast PC builds. That starts with an all-new socket and a transition from micro PGA to an LGA socket to drive more power and greater signal integrity for all of those high-speed IOs. Pair that with an expansion to new processor infrastructure groups all the way up to 170 watts TDP to take advantage of the performance per watt efficiency of leading-edge process technology nodes, unlocking even more all-core performance. It incorporates next-generation I/O capabilities, including dual-channel DDR5 memory and the capability to drive the most PCI Gen 5 lanes from the processor socket in the industry. And last but not least, over the past several years, we've developed a robust cooler ecosystem for AM4 platforms, supporting a wide range of passive, air, and liquid coolers in all shapes and sizes and price range. And I'm happy to say that as we make this transition, our new AM5 socket will be compatible with existing AM4 coolers. When you look at AM5's I/O capabilities, we've made many enhancements, like enabling 24 PCI lanes capable of Gen 5 speed connected directly to the socket to power the fastest storage and graphics solutions in the industry. We now support up to 14 super speed USB ports, including support for 20 gigabit per second speed and USB Type-C connectors. We know that connectivity is critical to the enthusiast motherboard user, and AM5 includes support for Wi-Fi 6E for blazing fast wireless connectivity, as well as 4 independent display outputs connected to the integrated RDNA 2 graphics engine. In addition to all of that I/O directly connected to the socket, the new 600 series chipsets bring a host of expansion options to the platform to meet the needs of even the most demanding users. Now, beyond the core platform I/O, the socket AM5 ecosystem also features an all-new SVI3 power infrastructure. This brings multiple advantages to the platform, such as support for additional power phases for that higher power delivery into the motherboard, fine-grained power control, and significantly faster voltage response capabilities. Our AM5 motherboard family will feature 3 levels of boards with different features targeting different segments of the desktop market. At the very top of the stack, we have our X670 Extreme motherboards. These boards deliver the best of the best across all aspects of what the most demanding enthusiasts crave. PCI 5, dual-channel DDR5 memory with the most extreme overclocking headroom and the most power phases to push the limits of performance and overclocking. Next, the X670 AM5 platform delivers the goods for the bulk of Ryzen enthusiasts and their gaming builds. PCI 5 to at least one of the M.2 slots, as well as the primary graphics slot on many boards, as well as very strong memory overclocking and CPU power deliveries on the board. And finally, our B650 boards offer the perfect balance of price point and capability. These boards are designed for performance users who want all the features the AM5 ecosystem has to offer, but may not demand all of the headroom and overclocking support the X-series boards make available. These boards will all feature PCI 5 to an M.2 storage socket so that users can take advantage of the benefits that Gen 5 offers. Now, in 2019, AMD was the first to introduce PCI 4 to our desktop platforms, and now we're bringing in PCI 5, which doubles the throughput once again, offering a theoretical maximum speed of 32 gigatransfers per second per lane to a range of devices on the motherboard. The first enthusiast-grade PCI 5 devices entering the market are Nvme storage solutions, and AMD has partnered with Phison, as well as storage device manufacturers like Crucial and Micron to bring this incredible performance uplift to the AM5 platform. Now, speaking of performance, as we develop these next-gen storage solutions with our partners, we're seeing an incredible 60% increase in sequential read performance versus PCI Gen 4 drives. When you think about what gamers and enthusiasts want most, like faster game loads or recalling large models from storage, the PCI Gen 5 ecosystem promises to deliver a fantastic experience. We expect to see the first devices from Crucial and Micron available in the consumer market timed with the introduction of the AM5 ecosystem, followed by new devices from other partners like Gigabyte, MSI, Corsair, and many more shortly thereafter. Our partners will introduce a range of new Am5 platforms covering the features, price points, and capabilities to address the needs of many different enthusiast desktop customers. Boards from ASRock, ASUS, BioStar, Gigabyte, and MSI will feature many of the capabilities that you heard about today. I'm so excited about what we're bringing to market with Am5 and the designs our partners are developing around this next generation solution. I can't wait for you to get your hands on the next era of Ryzen desktop computing. And with that, I'd like to hand the stage back to Lisa to show off a little bit of what this platform is capable of.
Thanks, David, for highlighting some of the big advances Am5 will bring to desktop PCs. Now, one of my favorite things to do is show off our new tech, so I'm so excited to be able to do that now with Ryzen 7000. Let's start first with gaming. What you're seeing now is gameplay footage of the recently released Ghostwire Tokyo from Tango Gameworks and Bethesda Studios, running on a pre-production version of our 16-core Ryzen 7000 processor. This first-person action-adventure game has rich visuals that help recreate an alternate version of Tokyo. If you look at the current frequency of the CPU reported in the top left corner, you can see that those Zen 4 cores are running around 5.5 gigahertz, with slight variations during gameplay. We designed Zen 4 to run significantly faster than our previous generation, and that increase in frequency can translate into a smoother gaming experience. And while this is just one example, we're really excited for gamers to get their hands on our Ryzen 7000 series. But we know our fans use Ryzen for more than just gaming. From the beginning, Ryzen has set the standard for high-performance content creation, delivering performance that was previously only available in a workstation-class processor. Ryzen 7000 will extend that even further. Now let me show you a Ryzen 7000 processor running the popular Blender 3D modeling software. On the right is the Ryzen 7000 system, and the left is a competitor system. Both CPUs are 16 cores and rendering a custom image of our next-gen Ryzen desktop CPU, with Blender maxing out the core and thread count of those processors to complete the render as quickly as possible. As you can see, the Ryzen 7000 system completes the process 31% faster, which means creators spend less time waiting and much more time creating. So hopefully you can see why we're so excited about our next generation Ryzen 7000 CPUs and Am5 platforms. You'll hear a lot more over the coming months, and you should expect Ryzen 7000 processors will be available starting this fall. It's been fantastic spending some time with everyone today. Let me close with a recap of the news. New ultra-thin and gaming notebooks powered by Ryzen 6000 series and AMD Advantage with leadership performance and battery life are available now. Mainstream notebooks based on AMD Mendocino will be available starting in Q4, and Ryzen 7000 and Am5 are coming this fall. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you in person again soon. Have a great Computex 2022.